It's an airplane. I'll let the airplane fly past first. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Filip Latocha. Today we're going to be talking about my next upcoming race, pre-race recap, I guess you can say, of just how things have been leading up to my second race, some expectations, things I've been doing this entire week between both races in preparation and whatnot. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, because the Sarasota series is just picking up. There's going to be a lot more cool stuff coming out. I will have some shoe reviews coming up actually out here, as well as some other videos that have been requested multiple times to me. So yeah, without further ado, yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I'm a little tired, I guess. Let's just say that we've been really partying the last week since the first race, the Graybeard half marathon 4-miler per se. Not like, you know, partying up where we're just waking up in the middle of nowhere or anything. It's just, you know, we're always having pool parties here, just the few of us that live here. We've just been cooking, eating out, just basically enjoying ourselves out here, just to have some kind of sense of normalcy, I guess you can say, that we were accustomed to in 2019. But again, I digress. More or less, training out here from that perspective is, again, very interesting because, as I've said before, jumping from sub-zero weather in Chicago into like this tropical Florida weather is a really big learning curve, because you're skipping spring altogether, which has these like fluctuations of like 40 to 60 degree weather, rain, other things like that, and you're not adapting quickly to the temperature increase, more or less. So that being said, some of these runs out here do get quite difficult temperature wise, and even while you're running shirtless, it's very hard for me to control my body temperature in that sense and cool down accordingly, more or less because, one, there isn't a whole lot of water stops out here, water fountains, things like that, and two, it just really does get hot out here, and it's quite humid as well, so that kind of makes things a little bit muggy and whatnot. But again, this is just part of the learning curve and adapting. And that's one of the good things about the races in these morning times, is that it is kind of cool in the mornings. It is still humid, but it is more or less windy. And during the Graybeard 4-miler, they had a cold front, I guess, and like that was 60 degree weather, windy, and it was very tolerable, and I was able to have a good race overall. The weather tomorrow, I think, is supposed to be similar to this, but I don't know what it's going to be at, you know, at gun time, which for me is going to be about 7:30. So that being said, let's talk about the race itself. The race is Challenge Miami. I'm just kidding, it's not. It would be really sick if I could do Challenge Miami, though. I'm just not a professional triathlete, that's all, or a professional runner for any sense of the word. But the race is called the Lucky Leprechaun 10K, which is way cooler than Challenge Miami anyways. I don't, you know, judge it by its name, I just judge it by the course. Basically, it's this 10K around this huge lake on the northeast side of Sarasota, which is going to be fun, I suppose. More or less, I just want to have a good time, have a good run, again, continue racing while I still can, despite feeling sluggish, kind of beaten up from just, you know, traveling the previous race, the training leading up to here, including the taper and the shake-off. The only things to be concerned about with the race is that it's going off in 3 waves. So there's a 7 a.m. gun time, which was basically sold out when I was trying to get to it, a 7:15 start, and then a 7:30 start. So I opted in to do the 7:30 start just so I can get like a few extra minutes of sleep in, because I sleep really poorly out here. More or less, like, my biological clock wants me to wake up at 5, even though I go to sleep at like 1 or 2 a.m. So it's not great by any stretch of the imagination. But again, that being said, some of the people that I was talking to at the previous race, again, because it's such a tight-knit community and everyone's so social, some of those people are coming out to the Lucky Leprechaun 10K because they knew I was going to be running. And yeah, they legit think I'm going to win this race. And like, this is one of the topics I did want to definitely talk about. It's like this mental, I guess, constraint you need to put on yourself so you don't let these things get to your head, because this is the first race I've won in quite some time that's deemed official with like a timer chip and everything. So when people start telling you, oh yeah, you're going to get into that race and you're definitely going to win it, like, that's something I try to avoid having in my head at all costs, because to walk into a race and think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this thing, like, one, that's just not good for you. That's like setting really insane expectations for yourself, and then you might like half-ass the race in that sense, because you'll say, oh yeah, I'm doing so well, blah blah blah, and if you do terrible, you're going to be extremely miserable at yourself the entire day. So despite that, you know, I've been doing my best to keep that mentality out of my head and just like focusing on other things. So whether it's like walking around and cleaning this pool or cleaning inside the house, just doing things to avoid thinking about the potential of winning tomorrow. Rather, I'm just thinking, let's try to PR. Like, let's try to run that sub 38-minute 10K that I've always been trying to break since 2019. And let's see, A, if it's possible, B, if I do it, will it put me in a top 10 finish at least? Maybe just an age group finish, you know, like, that's kind of even like a little bit of a step down from like the mental block I'm trying to create on winning the race. But I guess if we want to really boil it down to what I'm looking for, it's just ultimately to race and just have a good day overall. That's realistically what I want. I don't want to bonk. I don't want to, you know, get to mile 4 and then just feel pain somewhere in my body that would cause me to stop. You know, because again, rust busters are really good to have, but usually at this point in the season, I've done enough races where like, I don't worry about what happens on race day because I've already worked out the kinks. I've already figured out some particular strategies, but this is the second race I've had in, you know, 15 months, and I don't know where my imbalances currently are, whether it's like maybe my core is weak, and when I'm taking certain steps, I'll feel a side stitch or something like that, or I'll feel a calf get really sore during the run. Like, there isn't a whole lot of time to work on the micro weak points that can ultimately cost you the race. So that's basically something I'm a little nervous about. I know with the Greybeard 4-miler, I wasn't too concerned because, again, a 4-miler is not that big of a deal, I guess you can say, in terms of distance. For some people, I think it really is. Like, if you're talking about a 5K and whatnot, I digress. The idea was I knew I can handle it. I can finish that no problem. Definitely with the 10K, I can probably finish it as well. Just doing, you know, finishing it well is going to be my concern ultimately. So, yeah, can I, you know, finish? Definitely. Will it be painful? I hope so. That means I'm, you know, putting in the work. Will I be able to PR? We don't know. I really hope I could. I just know the shape I was in during the 2019 fall season was incredible, and I had a lot of energy, and I was running on, you know, a cold intake basically because it was cold and easier to breathe, easier to take in water. But now it's a lot hotter. Things are just different out here, so I don't necessarily expect to do well, but I don't expect to do terribly either, because I'm in a fairly decent shape for not racing for 15 months and keeping up with it since, you know, lockdown started. So that's kind of the race update right now. Yeah, I start at 7:30. I hope to have a good time during the race, and more or less just continue racing as we go along. If this just ends up being another rust buster leading up into the 8K race, that's like a week or two from now, so be it. But yeah, that's just more or less where we're at right now. So if you guys got any questions or anything like that, you know, leave it in the comments below. I will be happy to answer them. I do have some shoe reviews and some other things coming up that aren't necessarily like related to the Sarasota series vlog that I'll be posting on the channel once that becomes available. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming out. It's still a good time. Still feeling great for the most part, besides like my usual little injuries here and there and little hiccups, but oh well, as it goes. So again, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys real soon.